So good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Global Health Makeover Saturday morning webinar. And today we're going to be speaking with Alex from Synergy Worldwide and Corporate, and we're going to go over some of the compliance aspects within our business. I will leave it to Alex to pronounce his last name. I believe it's Melecio, but I'm not quite sure, so if I butchered it, I apologize. We're just going to go over the guidelines right now, and the first subject that I want to talk about is the Synergy logo. It's very important to identify yourself as an independent distributor of Synergy Worldwide, and the use of Synergy's independent distributor logo provided with that logo is the only one used with the products. And Dan, would you like to go over where to find this particular logo?
Yes, I just want to let people know that for if you're using the Synergy, just call it team member logo. I'll show you that in just a little bit, and we do have a question for Alex if he's on. But if you go to the main website for Synergy Worldwide, it really doesn't matter what country you select. Typically, for us, we would select the United States or Canada. That way, all the information on the website is in English, and we can read it. But when you're on the main website, if you hover your cursor over Opportunity, there'll be a drop-down menu. And if you go all the way down to the bottom of the drop-down menu, and if you click on Downloads, then that will take you to the following page. Now, there's a lot of information on this page. What Synergy has done is they've consolidated all their downloads onto one platform. Before, we used to find a lot of this information in our back office, and now what they've done is they've structured the downloads according to the countries. But don't click on the United States that you see here at the bottom. What you want to do is you want to click on Global Downloads. So it's the first one that you'll see at the top of the left-hand column. And when you click on that, it's going to take you to this thing here that says Global. And you're going to have forms, marketing material, videos, and images. And what you want to do is go down to the images, click on the images, the drop-down menu will appear, and then you'll see Independent Team Member Logo, English version. PNG is a picture, and then a PDF is exactly what that is, a PDF. So you can download a PNG. Some people prefer JPEGs. So if that's the case, then you can download the PDF, like what I do. And then I have a device on my computer called Clip It, where I can take a screenshot of that. That's exactly what I did here. I downloaded the PDF to my computer, opened it up, and then I did a screenshot of the Synergy Independent Team Member. And that would be the logo that Synergy would like us to use to identify ourselves as Synergy distributors. Now, Alex, are you on the line by any chance?
Yes, I am.
Okay, great.
How's it going, guys?
Good.
Sorry, I was having laptop difficulties, so I joined by phone, but I am also watching on my computer.
All right, great. Alex, we want to welcome you to our live Saturday morning presentation. We do this through the Global Health Makeover platform so that it's available to every person in Synergy Worldwide that would like to connect in this. And we've already seen your smiling picture, your selfie. We appreciate you sending that to us. Tammy had a question with regards to how you actually pronounce your last name.
Sure. Well, thank you, Tammy, for finding that picture. Yes, and I was on when she pronounced it, and it was perfect. It's Melecio. So.
Okay.
Hey, oh, good.
So, go ahead, Tammy.
The question, actually, I'll ask the question at the next screen, so go ahead. Oh, there it is. This is a question that I have for Alex. Is this the logo that we should be using, or could there be different variations to it, or should this be the specific one that we use when we put it on our business cards?
You know, there could be different variations of that. If you have something, I think what Ryan and our marketing team has done is just provide something that is accessible and easy and quick to use, you know. But as long as you say independent team member, that's really the point of it. So if it looks different in terms of design, anything like that, as long as you say independent team member on your business card or wherever you're going to be using that, that'll work.
So Alex, I have a
Right.
question for you. Do you guys want us to use the independent team member as opposed to some people might be used to using independent distributor?
It's the same thing.
Okay.
I mean, team member. We call our distributors team members. We like that better. That's what we've chosen that, but it's the same meaning. So.
Okay, so the key thing is to identify us as independent team members or independent distributors with Synergy Worldwide so that there's no association with, quote, corporate.
Correct. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Tammy, any other questions in this area?
No, I think he covers that one. So I guess I'm ready for the next slide.
All right, and I want to let people know that are on our presentation this morning. We've got a nice large group. As we go through this, if you have questions on the topic that we're discussing, please go ahead and unmute yourself and ask your question, or you can type it into the chat box. We've got a couple eyes on the chat box. Judy's in the back office. Tammy's there. I'm here, so we can catch your message in the chat box. And we will also have the opportunity to ask Alex a series of questions that we have at the end. And if those questions don't cover things that you've got, also we'll have time to ask Alex. I like that. Ask Alex. Hey, Alex, you should have that on the blog. Ask Alex.
Hey, Dan.
I'm going to have to talk to Ryan about it for sure.
Okay. Yes, Homer, go ahead.
Dan. Yeah, I have a question. On that independent team member, does that have to be on every post, on every, on your business card, on the, whatever brand that you have, on your, does that has to be on everything, correct?
Correct. Same. Yes. Websites, Facebook page groups that you might create to talk about the products and that kind of stuff. Yes.
And when you so basically when you're let's say I do a lot of things on Facebook, so I'm talking to people about the product. Immediately, I've got to let them know I'm an independent team member.
Correct. Yes, that's the best way to do it. So if there's a number of pages out there that we look at and support from that perspective, and Synergy UK or Synergy US, whatever the pages are. If it's owned by an independent distributor, if it's not a corporate page, it's not something that we manage at corporate, then it should indicate that it is an independent distributor page or whatever it may be.
Perfect. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome.
Thanks, Homer. All right, let's go on to the next topic here.
All right, Alex. Can you go over into detail the importance of identifying Synergy products not as being diagnosed as a disease or prescribe the product and do not attribute it to any medicinal uses? Because I know that there's people out there that are walking the fine line, and we definitely need to be careful on what we say. So if you can go into detail about that, that would be great.
Sure. It's basically what it comes down to, and I think that was that Tammy or was that?
That was Tammy.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Tammy.
It's great. It's great to hear Tammy's voice after we've exchanged emails for a little while now.
Likewise.
For sure. So what it comes down to is, as a health supplement, in the U.S. anyway, Canada is different. For instance, in Canada, we are allowed to say different things that we are not allowed to say in the U.S. And so it depends on the country that we're in and what their regulatory wise we can say as a health supplement. In the U.S., as a supplement, we cannot talk about specific diseases or imply or state, flat out state that our products can treat, cure, diagnose. You all are probably familiar with that. On our labels, we say that these statements are not FDA sanctioned, and therefore our products are not meant to diagnose, treat, or cure, or anything of that nature, because we are a supplement, not a drug. And so drugs can make those kinds of claims, and they go through the scrutiny of getting FDA approved to be able to say those things. And so that's essentially the reason why, in spite of all the great studies, clinical studies that have been done, if they haven't been published, we cannot speak about our products in that light to say, take Pro-arginine to treat this condition or anything like that. And that's the reason we have to be careful with testimonials. And those are very tricky. But essentially, that's the reason why Pro-arginine or any of our products cannot be associated with any type of claim that can only be said about a drug. Specifically, anything along the lines of treating, curing, diagnosing, reversing any type of ailment.
I'm reading on the Pro-arginine label, and to give people an idea in terms of what Alex is talking about. And we're going to go, Alex, into a little bit more detail on this when we go to the next slide on testimonials. But if people read the back of it, it says Pro-arginine Plus was formulated in collaboration with leading scientists and cardiovascular specialists who have conducted extensive research on the proper application of L-arginine in promoting heart health. With Pro-arginine Plus, you're giving your heart the supplement it needs for a long, healthy life. Then there's always that important little asterisk, and then the words are actually very small, but it says these statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. So Alex, it would be, and correct me if I've got this wrong, but it would be our understanding that we want to always position any of the Synergy products as nutritional supplements.
Absolutely.
That they are not. Some people refer to them as medications, and we want to get them out of that language. We don't want anything associated with a medication. We don't want to associate anything with a dosage. This is the amount that you need. This is your serving size. Again, if it sounds like it's medical, then get that out of your language so that you can just speak in general terms. Here, there's a scooper inside. This is your serving size that you want. You want to take a scoop and a half on a daily basis where you split that over this, rather than you want to take a dosage, or you want to take, again, we just want to make sure that what would be medical terminology is left out of our language as much as possible.
Right, and there are things you can't say, like you're right, and that's a great point that Dan's making, that we have recommended portions you can take, and that's acceptable. I think it's even on the label, recommended use, and so you can use that instead of dosage or, yes, any type of prescription like language.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions for Alex on this before we move into the testimonial part? I think it'll be a little bit even clearer when we talk in terms of the testimonial, exactly where Alex is coming from and what he has to work with. It's not like Alex doesn't want us to have the most powerful testimonials, but in the context of how we package that testimonial will determine how Alex will look at that testimonial. So before we go there, do we have any questions on this aspect of making sure that you understand that we have nutritional supplements that, and sometimes I get people ask, well, this is like taking food, and that would be exactly right. This is like taking food, except that you're getting all the nutritional profile that you need that you might be missing from your food.
Right, and specifically about nitric oxide, I mean, there's a lot of great research, a lot of great information out there about nitric oxide, and so when speaking about Pro-arginine specifically, we need to be more careful. If we keep the conversation about nitric oxide, and I guess we'll go into this in the next slide, but this is kind of relevant to what we're saying now. There are things you can say. It's just a matter of being careful in how you present it, especially if it's going to be in writing, if you're going to put it on a flyer or on a website. It's just a matter of being careful with how you present it and not making it seem as though you're attributing all the benefits of nitric oxide or even the Nobel Prize to specifically a product. In this case, pro-arginine or any other product. There's a number of L-arginine products out there that are inferior. We know that, but anyway.
Great. So that leads us into testimonials, and I've got on the screen Donald Clark and Tammy Hester. And I bring these up because I worked with both Donald and Tammy and Alex with regards to making sure that their testimonials were compliant to the social media guidelines. And in that process, I got an education from Alex. And Alex, I took this off of one of the emails that you sent me. I'd like to read this because I think it really explains from Alex's perspective what he's dealing with. And we need to understand it from Alex's perspective. And if we understand it from his perspective, it will make it easier for us to decide how we're going to package a testimonial, as well as what Alex just talked about. How are we going to position information on a maybe a flyer that we do, or a position information on one of our websites that we might have, to make sure that the information is accurate to what Alex is looking at. So in this email sequence I had with Alex, this one was really important, at least for me. And this is Alex's response back to me. The reason is that as a health supplement company, we cannot state or imply that our products cure, treat, reverse any ailment. The moment we speak of a specific ailment in connection to our product, we are promoting our supplement as a drug. This is why if you look at our website, you'll find no mention of high blood pressure or any other ailment in connection to Pro-Arginine Plus. This is also why oftentimes we recommend not mentioning our products at all, because by keeping testimonials claims blind, meaning not mentioning a specific product or company, and focusing solely on L-arginine/nitric oxide, you are free to elaborate as much as you want and talk about medical conditions and or specific results. The moment you throw in a specific supplement name or company, what can be said is reduced dramatically, because now the intent becomes to pitch that product company rather than sharing data to support the benefits of nitric oxide, i.e. oxide therapy. And my response back to Alex on that was this: thank you for the explanation. Now I better understand what you have to use for your guidelines. If I understand your email, I basically have two choices. If I use the word Pro-Arginine Plus or an image of Pro-Arginine Plus, then I have to speak in general terms only. If I want to highlight details and improvements with specific numbers and health issues, then use nitric oxide therapy with no mention or picture of Pro-Arginine Plus. Use the testimonial to create engagement, and if they ask what I was taking, then let them know about Pro-Arginine Plus. And Alex, if I understood our conversation through email correctly, then when it comes to me helping people do their testimonials, then I need to ask them the question: are you wanting to promote Pro-Arginine Plus, or are you looking to promote nitric oxide therapy so that you can really get into the specific details of what nitric oxide therapy is done to improve your health, and then create the interest in nitric oxide therapy so that they'll want to ask you more about nitric oxide therapy? What were you using to get that benefit? That then allows you to say, well, I chose to use Pro-Arginine Plus. Am I accurate in my interpretation of what you shared with me?
Yes, I believe so. What a lot of people recently have done that I've worked with on, creating their websites, and they've come to us for guidance on this. What a lot of people have done is to create their website around, obviously, the company Pro-Arginine, and speak about the product in general terms, using a lot of the material that we already provide, like you were showing earlier on our website. But also, they, on their website, share links to redirect their traffic to articles about nitric oxide or nitric oxide therapy. That way, it's clear that you're making a separation between the two, where on your website you can buy the products, you can learn about the ingredients and some of the benefits in general terms as you would find them on our corporate website. But also, if people want to know more about the benefits of nitric oxide and L-arginine, there are some resources available on that websites that redirect you, and when they click on those, a little pop-up screen shows up that says you are now leaving, this website, and you're being redirected to another site. Just to kind of make that distinction, this is something that's been made, pointed out to us by our legal team as an important step in case that website gets looked at by the FDA or the FTC, that there's clear intent to separate the two, and there's no intention to in some way perhaps make people think that they're getting, anyway, I don't know if I'm making that distinction right there. Does that make sense? Just to make an effort to separate the two, because online is a little trickier, and I'm going with the online example because this is what most people use. What I've been seeing most lately is that you have your website and you offer some links to other resources there on your website, but you make a distinction and you let people know this is its own thing. This is nitric oxide and Nobel Prize and all this, and some of the science and research that's been done on that. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah, at least it does to me. And I do have a question for you. So let's say, Alex, you took the reverse of that you made your website all about nitric oxide therapy, and that you had specifically on there testimonials from people of how nitric oxide therapy helped them with their high blood pressure. It took their blood pressure from 160 over 90 to 112 over 68, and maybe they're diabetic, and how nitric oxide therapy helped them stabilize their blood sugar numbers, and the neuropathy that they had in their toes and their fingers went away. Where everything is always spoken in terms of nitric oxide therapy with regards to what it did for them specifically. Now, so here's my question. Would you be able to then have a link and say, I believe the best of all the supplements in the marketplace to create this nitric oxide, to harness the power of nitric oxide therapy, click this link. And then that link would take them to your Synergy website that would allow them to purchase the product.
Yes, that's correct. And so one little detail there is, yes, you can do that. And again, just to make sure, on your main landing site where you're talking about nitric oxide and all the details, there would be no mention of ProRG9 or Synergy on that website. But on your link, exactly as you described, you would say, click here to learn more or to find, the best L-arginine supplement out there, or something along those lines. I'm not a marketing guy, you can tell.
Sure.
But and yes, and when they click on that, you should see a pop-up little box that says you are now leaving this site and you're being redirected to this other website. That shows that you are making an effort to let people know, okay, so where I'm going to go now is not connected to this per se. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
You're going to another site, whether that's our corporate website or maybe it's the replicated Synergy sites that we offer, or maybe it's your own website that you created where you have Synergy products and you have a shop and all that stuff. And just make sure people know that they're leaving that informational page that they were on, and they are now going to be redirected to a page where they can actually buy a specific product. And yes, on that page, again, where they get redirected, there would be none of the verbiage that you had on the previous one. It would just strictly probably be product information, pricing, and just benefits, ingredients, that kind of thing.
Okay. Do we have any questions from anyone with regards to this aspect of how to package your testimonial in a way that will be both powerful, yet at the same time compliant to what Alex has been talking to us about?
Alex, this is Tammy. I just wanted to say that thank you so much for clarifying that. It makes perfect sense, and now I know what to do going forward, because I always really didn't understand the difference between what we can and cannot see on websites. So with those links separating the two is great to know.
Well, and I wanted to
Yeah.
tie into, Alex, you helped us craft both Tammy's testimonial as well as we crafted 2 separate testimonials for Donald Clark. We did one for ProRx 9 Plus and one for nitric oxide therapy. They were both completely, well, not completely different, but key points of them were completely different. But I want to go back to Tammy's testimonial. You know, Tammy then took that testimonial that we got your final approval on. She did a video and she posted it up on online social media. And Tammy, are you over 600 channel views on that testimonial now?
I haven't quite looked at it today, but I know that it was getting close to 600, and I've gone across the pond into the UK, into Poland. So it's amazing how your word could get spread throughout the whole world.
And I guess the point that I want to make too is when you craft your testimonial and do it again in the guidelines that Alex is coaching us on, it's powerful. And you need to share them with people because Tammy's got people that her testimonial resonates with them. If it didn't, she wouldn't have. I mean, Tammy, it's only been up for 2 weeks and you're at 600 channel views. You know, that's a pretty good success ratio in terms of that resonates with people, and people are sharing that testimonial with others. And maybe it's Synergy distributors that are sharing it with people that they know that have a family history of cardiovascular disease, because that's the general terminology that we used in Tammy's testimonial. You know, maybe it's a person who isn't associated with Synergy worldwide, but they do have a family history of cardiovascular disease, and they came across Tammy's testimonial. It resonates with them. So it's really important for us, you know, when you first go into your testimonial, make the decision. Do you want to promote ProRx Plus, or do you want to get into the real nitty-gritty details of the specific benefits that you've derived, then coach it in nitric oxide therapy only to create interest?
And I also wanted to say, it just goes to show that it's very, very important when you do put a testimonial out there that you're doing it properly, because if you put something out there that it alludes to the fact that, wow, I was cured and things like that, we could get in really big trouble, and it just goes to show you it could spread like wildfire, and once you put it out there, you cannot take it back.
Absolutely, and just if I could chime in real quick, I mean this is the main problem that Herbalife had, and the reason they got into the trouble that they did, and so it is a big deal, and there are eyes out there, especially now. There's more scrutiny being placed on our industry for this kinds of things because of what's happened recently with VIMA and with the Herbalife thing. It's just making the wrong representations. And one other thing I wanted to say is with Tammy's testimonial, I think the reason, as Dan alluded to, it's powerful is because it's simple. When you listen to Dan Higginson speak or anybody else like that, you know, that I believe that they're so appealing because what they speak plainly, and testimonials about our products don't need to be sensationalized, I guess is the word. The harder you try to make the product seem amazing, you know, they are amazing, and we know that, and the more confident you are in that when you share them, when you speak to people about them, they'll speak for themselves. You don't need to convince people. All you need to do is get it in people's hands and tell them they have 4 months, and we're so confident that they're going to like it, and that we give them 120 days to use our products with 100% money-back guarantee, and see what they can do to them for themselves. Really, the less, I guess my point is to say, the harder you try to make it sound good, people get skeptical about it. It sounds too good to be true. But if you just share a simple testimonial where, you know what, I started taking Progenine 2 months ago, and it's done wonderful things for my health. I need you to try this product. You're going to love it. Things of that nature, you don't have to dive into all the details. And I get it. There's audiences, there's circumstances where it is appropriate to talk about maybe more details, and that's where all these other things come into play that we just discussed. But overall, guys, Arginine works. It's the greatest L-arginine supplement out there, and so I guess I just want to. It's easy to sell this product. I'm not a distributor. I'm an employee, but man, my family loves Arginine, and I didn't have to sell it to them. I just told them, I've been taking this product when I started working at Synergy 7 years ago, and now everybody, my dad, he won't stop asking me for it, and because it does great things for them. And so anyway, I guess product speaks for itself, and we need to trust in the product and just get it in people's hands, and it'll sell itself.
Hey, so Alex, I got a question for you. If you take Progenate Plus, then does that mean that you get to get rank advancements up in the corporate ladder because it makes you a better employee?
No, well, it will.
Now that's not a medical term, right? So we can't get in trouble for that, right? I'm just joking.
No, I love Arginine Plus. I've been taking it. I've been with Synergy for 7 years. I started in the call center. I saw Judy Feldhausen's on the call as well. I know I've spoken with all of you guys, Donald, and you guys are a great team. And so, yes, I've been taking the products for a long, long time, and I continue to take them every day. So.
Okay, so let's go into this next issue, and I pre-warned you, Alex, and that for us as distributors that are out there, one of the thorns in our side is people who violate the policy in Synergy Worldwide that clearly states that we cannot sell on internet sites like Amazon and eBay and any kind of auction site.
Auction, yeah.
But we continue still to have this. This is a we have Progenate Plus being sold. Typically, it's mixed berry that is sold off of the platform. And the price pointing, as the screen shows now, people are now on Amazon using a lower pricing but adding shipping to it. I don't know how that works for Prime members, but needless to say, it puts a price pressure upon us as distributors from a competition standpoint. And I guess the question to you from our standpoint is, what's being done on the corporate side to help stop Amazon and eBay sellers?
For sure, and that's a great question. This is not one of my favorite topics because it's not a fun thing to talk about, as you all know. But definitely, here's what, and if it's any consolation, every single company suffers from this. You search any product, search any Herbalife, any Nature Sunshine product, and there's a reason that's an issue. But I'll get into that a little bit. Here's what we do. What we are able to do now, ideally, guys, and I'm going to be candid with you, and I brought this up with Howie when he was there, and other heads of sales, and Dan, and now Shane, to say, guys, our 48 packs are creating this problem. We want to stop Amazon sales. We need to stop selling 48 packs that people can buy at $35 a can, and we are creating this problem. I feel that way. And in a sense, we are. However, as long as there are people out there willing to break the rules and be dishonest, we will continue to see this no matter what. But what we are able to do, Dan, and everybody else at this point is, I'm going to give you three things. We do a little bit more, and we're always looking for better ways to address this. But here's what I do. Some of my routine. My routine is I look at the sellers' profiles, and by the way, that link that you put on there, Dan, I looked at that seller. It's been on there for a while. I've had my eye on them. Our legal team has now their information, and they're dealing with them directly. Them, as I mean Amazon and the seller himself or herself. But I look at the profiles, and I see if I can link them to a Synergy account. That's the first thing I look for. If they have any contact information that I can cross-reference and pull up the Synergy ID from that. If I'm successful in doing that, then I can deal with it. I send an investigation letter right away, place their account on hold, and until they remove all their ads. And if they don't, then they get terminated. I have terminated accounts over this. However, most sellers on Amazon, guys, are not Synergy distributors, or at least their Amazon ads don't point to a Synergy name or anything we can cross-reference to a Synergy account, which at that point we kind of have very limited options in terms of distributor compliance. We hand it over to legal to send letters to Amazon and ask them to remove certain ads for copyright infringement if they're using our images. But people have learned that they can get around that as well. So again, it goes back to people knowing what they're doing and doing it on purpose. And that's the ugly part of it. What we've been successful with is teaching our distributors, and we've instructed customer service to track any calls or emails or any type of complaint that comes in about people buying products on Amazon and then not being able to return it, or getting used product or getting expired product, or whatever the issue was. We have people calling in to our call center asking for refunds or support with these kinds of sales, and the answer is, sadly, we don't back these products that are sold illegally on Amazon. The bottom line is Amazon resellers are not authorized resellers. And so anybody that buys from them does that at their own risk. They don't get the type of guarantees that we offer. And this is what, again, what we've been successful at. I know this is not ideal, but it has worked. And that is to say, guys, or to your customers or to your teams, buying from Amazon is not allowed. Anybody that's selling on Amazon is doing that against the rules. Not only that, but there have been instances where people have received product that's expired. People that sell there, you don't know how long they've kept it in their garage or what condition the product's in or what have you. When you buy from a distributor, when you buy from an authorized source, not only do you get the highest quality possible, but you also get, again, 120-day money-back guarantee to use our products. We're going to be with you every step of the way. You get a sponsor that'll be there to support you. Once you see the results of the product, once you take it and you know that this is something you want to share with other people, this can become a great opportunity for those customers to generate a residual income and build a business that'll pay for the products every month and more. And so this is something that has worked in terms of, education or sharing more regarding Amazon. If you guys have any questions, please interrupt me, or if this is making any sense, or if you want me to repeat anything.
I've got two things for you in this, Alex. My first question is this: do you want additional eyes in the field? That when we find stuff like this, do you want us to send it to you, or not?
Dan, I'm always happy to count with you guys' eyes and ears. Know that regularly I've instructed my team, and I oversee the North American aspect of things compliance-wise. And yesterday, I sent our legal team a list of probably 15, 16 sellers on Amazon to send letters to Amazon to have them remove their ads. And so we are constantly reporting these to Amazon. Amazon does not cooperate the way we would like them to cooperate, and we understand why they would want to do that. They are not legally required to. There's nothing in them. There's nothing in it for them to enforce our policies. They only hurt their own sales if they do, and so I understand why the response that they give us, but we still push the issue. We still have legal send letters, and when we can, and when Amazon cooperates and shares a name or something, we contact the team member directly. But it is a battle. It isn't as simple as some of us may think. And I thought at first as well, why isn't it easier? But there are legal obstacles in place that prevent us from being able to, flat out just have them removed. But yes, Dan, that would be great, especially if you guys know of a seller and you know who that seller is, because I can look at the links and that's an easy search. I can type in for Arginine on the search bar there, and I can send all those to legal. But if you guys know specifically, this seller is this person, and this is their ID number, or this is their name, or this is who I think it is, that gives us a lot to work with in terms of, we can reach out to them, we can help we're not out there trying to get people terminated. We want to talk with people. We want to help them understand. A lot of people I've talked to about this, that we've been able to link to an Amazon seller, they've said, "Oh, I was not aware. I did not know that," and so they removed their ad. Whether that's completely true or not, I'm not sure, but a lot of people are legitimately just need some information. So, yeah, we're happy to take anything you can send us and act on it immediately, as we always do.
Okay, and then we've got a bunch of other questions that we need to go to, and we're running out of time. So I'll just make this statement, and then if you're interested, let's email. But I've suggested this to Howie. I've suggested this to Shane. You know, I sell off of the internet. I don't sell on any of these types of platforms, but I gained my traffic through my YouTube videos. And any person that's selling through the internet has to have a merchant provider. Mine is PayPal. And that means there's always a track. There's a financial transaction that occurs on every platform that you're on. And if the 48 packs are the place that's causing the problem, then maybe the people who are buying 48 packs need to be audited by Synergy Worldwide. I'd be more than happy to show you my back end book. And then
that's a great point. That's a great point. Sorry to interrupt you. I forgot to mention that. I have been doing that. In our policies, it states that we can audit at any time. And by audit, you know, we ask for sales receipts. And we started aggressively. We had been auditing before that, but as of December last year, Dan and everybody, we started sending audit letters to people every single month. I audit 15 people every single month, different people, and I asked for a month's worth of receipts. And so, yes, that is something else that we have been leveraging a lot more. That's already in our policies. Plus, I implemented something we call the bulk pack agreement. So everybody that buys bulk has to sign a bulk pack agreement, and we have a list of people that buy them, and they have to spell out how they liquidate the product, and they agree to us auditing them at any time. And so that has helped alleviate some of it, Dan.
Okay.
We have distributors, we have practitioners that sell move a lot of product to other chiropractors and things like that. And so again, it's a sales decision, it's a business decision that's beyond me to either continue or discontinue those 48 packs. Obviously, they consider it more valuable to keep them at least until now. But we've looked at all kinds of different things from my perspective to say we need to get a better grip on. We are doing that, and we have, again, we have a list of it. We are auditing people every single month.
Okay, great.
So in case, if any of you get a letter, just know that you're not in trouble. If you get a letter from me, it's just, if you don't resell the product, you don't have anything to provide, that's fine. But if you do resell, keep your receipts in case you need them.
Okay, great. Well, I don't want to go. I appreciate what you've shared, Alex, because it tells to us as distributors that you're actively engaged in this process of trying to address this pain point. Now we're at 9:46. Let's take this to the top of the hour. Tammy, you want to go through these additional questions that we had for Alex?
Absolutely. The first one is the guidelines for trade shows and fairs. And another thing that comes to mind are the flea markets, because I had a distributor say, hey, when I get more comfortable in going out there and sharing the product, we want to go to the Kane County Fairgrounds. And the Kane County Fairgrounds in St. Charles, Illinois is a really nice one. They actually have permanent buildings, and it's classy, but I know that some of the flea markets really aren't. So if you could go into greater detail as to why they can't do a flea market and what the guidelines are for trade shows and health fairs that you can do.
Okay, sorry, you're cutting out a little bit. So just go into detail as to whether they can or cannot maybe set up a booth or have some kind of space promoting our products.
Yes.
Market or trade. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yes. Can you hear me better? I took off my headphones. Can you hear better now?
Yes.
Yes. Wonderful.
Oh,
Thank
good.
you.
Okay, I'll. Sorry about that.
No, you're fine. I made my point. So.
Did you hear that some flea markets are really classy, and they sell a lot of really nice goods, but however, when I'm looking at the P&Ps, it indicates that you cannot do flea markets. So can you explain as to why flea markets are a no-go?
That's a good question. That's a great question. Perhaps I'd have to research that one a little bit more, Tammy, and we can share that communication with the team down the road. The one thing I can think of with flea markets is perhaps the danger of and I don't know what kind it is, but the kind of goods that you can buy at those kinds of places, I don't know if that's the best place to promote a health supplement, especially a science-based L-arginine supplement like ours. I'm not sure. I would have to look that up and give you a better explanation. But in terms of like a trade show or getting space, my understanding and the way we've handled it in the past is to say, absolutely. If you and I know Shane and other heads of sales have supported that in the past as well. Again, so long as you have the right signage, and our marketing team is always happy to help you out with that as well. If you guys want anything more than what's offered on our website, you can always work with marketing to see what other options there are. They can help you with that in sales. And as long as you make it clear you're an independent distributor. But the flea market question, I'm going to have to look into a little bit deeper, if that's okay. And I would like to understand better what that's about personally.
Great, thank you. Does anybody else have any questions in regards to the trade shows and fairs? All right, I guess moving on. The next question is, can someone be a Synergy distributor as well as an XYZ distributor?
Okay. Here's the policy says, guys. So this is interesting because you can be a Synergy distributor, and you can also be a distributor for any other company. Legally, we cannot prevent, or no company can prevent you from joining another company. What we can act on is if you are recruiting people to other companies. And so say you were a distributor with Synergy and you joined a competitor and you start to raid or solicit your Synergy downline to join you. That is our policy. This is against our downline raiding policy, and that is a violation and grounds for termination. So you can join another company, you just cannot raid.
Okay. So that leads into the third question. The third question, as far as the Synergy distributor and a Nature Sunshine distributor, I'm not really a distributor, but I know that there's such a thing called a Nature Sunshine member. It's kind of like the customer on the Synergy side. Is that correct?
Correct. And yes, you can. And there may be some changes coming soon to that, by the way. I don't want to announce anything. And this is not official, but also as a result of the whole Herbalife thing, there may be a customer type coming soon to the Nature Sunshine structure. But yes, you can be a distributor with Synergy and a member with NSP for personal use of their products, or vice versa. You can be a Nature Sunshine distributor and a Synergy customer to use Synergy products personally.
Oh, that's
a distributor with both.
That's good to know, because I do purchase some of these Nature Sunshine oils, which are top of the line. You know that you're getting the purest of the pure because we know that the Synergy products are pure. I to the oils as well as in other products, and I was getting rebate checks on them, which was making me a little bit nervous. It's like, so I called them up and they said, no, if you spend X amount of dollars, you'll get back because you purchased X amount of dollars. So, so thank you for clarifying that. And because I'm just a number. Is there anybody else that had any questions in regards to the Nature Sunshine products and purchasing them? All right, that leads us to number 4, and you already delved into this question about the independent websites and how you want to do just strictly Synergy Worldwide. You must have and if you want to talk about testimonials and things like that, you must have a link that takes you out of the Synergy website and goes into your website and vice versa. So I think you answered any questions on that. Does anybody else have any questions in regards to the guidelines for the independent websites?
On the independent websites, this is Tracy. Could we have Alex look at our websites or have Dan look at our websites and let us know if there's anything that we need to do differently?
Absolutely, yes, Tracy. I'd be more than happy to look at your website and give you any feedback. My email address is really easy. It's alexm, ALEXM, at synergyworldwide.com. So if you shoot me an email with your URL, I'll look at it and get back to you with any comments. Also, I think it helps to look at our corporate site. Just in general terms, if you're wondering I wonder if I should say this. If you look at our corporate site and you have specific questions on what you should say, I think you'll get a pretty good idea of to what extent you can elaborate on the products and that kind of thing. But definitely look at our website and use me as a resource. I'd be happy to help.
Thank you so much.
And I can definitely attest. Alex is wonderful to work with. I mean, he's spot on everything, and he's really good about getting back to you in a very timely basis. So I really appreciate you and having you on this webinar today. Just lets people know that you are approachable, that you can reach out, and sometimes when people are working with corporate people, they get a little bit scared. It's like, oh my gosh, I don't want to get a hold of compliance, and I mean, it just bringing you on the website, just letting people know that you are approachable.
For sure, yes. Anybody but except compliance, right? No, we're always happy to help work with you guys. The name of our department is Distributor Education and Compliance, and we changed that name recently for that same reason. We are not here just slapping people's wrists. We are here to work with you. And I believe that preventing issues is a lot more effective than correcting them when they happen. And so if there's anything proactively you want us to help you with, anything we can do, that's our approach. We want to prevent as much as possible so we have less fires to put out. So.
Great. Anybody else have any questions on the independent websites? All right, what's our question? We really would love to find out when the new independent distributor websites from Synergy Worldwide will be made available to us. Do you have any information that you could share with us today?
You know, I do not know. I wish I did. I'll tell you this much. I know I'm leaving to Europe on Tuesday to our European summit, and I know we will be launching those new websites in Europe next week. And I don't know if that's any indication of whether that will be done here too simultaneously or not. I honestly don't know, but I would think it's soon because we're ready to do it there, and it's very easy to do it here as well if we're ready for Europe. So, and we're doing Asia in November. So anyway.
That would be great. And another thing, we want to know when that new proarginine and the new microbiome is going to be rolled out. Do you have any information? Is it going to be like November, December-ish, or do you have any information on that?
You know, sorry, Tammy, I do not. I don't have any new information. Again, we will be rolling out we will have a limited time offer to sell some of those products at our summit in Vienna next week. And so it depends. I don't know, because it depends on registration times and all that stuff in the different countries. I know Europe and Asia have been a focus because of the summits next week and then in November in Korea. And so honestly, I'm sorry, I don't have a good answer for that at this time. But definitely either Shane or Aaron would have a better notion of that.
Oh, all right. Well, it doesn't hurt to ask. That's for sure.
Well, Sammy, you were exercising the education part of the new.
Exactly.
Hello.
Well,
Yes.
Hello.
Donald, go ahead.
Yeah, thanks. I just want to join Tammy in thanking you, Alex, for your continued support and in helping me craft, my testimony and that. And I certainly appreciate it, all the support that you've been giving me over the last couple of years.
My pleasure, Donald. Yeah, it's great talking to you, and let me know if there's anything else. You guys, I appreciate you taking the time to have me be a part of this webinar, and if there's ever anything else I can do, I'm available. So, yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Alex, I put up a last slide. I'll have to add the education as part of the Synergy Worldwide Education and Compliance Department. But is the best number for them to contact you if they have questions would be to call the corporate number 801-769-7700?
Let me give you my direct desk number, which is 801-769-7747. And
okay.
Again, my email is alexm@cgworldwide.com. So oftentimes I'm in and out of my office in meetings and things like that, and so you can leave a voicemail, or if I'm there, I'll pick it up. If you can send me an email, I get my emails everywhere I go. I have my phone on me. So anyway.
Unfortunately, I didn't hear the last four numbers of your telephone number, Alex, because you dropped out.
Sure, it's 801-769-7747.
Gotcha.
I just changed it on the slide, and I'm putting the slide back up. There you go. So 801-769-7747.
Correct, yes.
Okay, any
And
other
Alex,
questions? Go ahead, Judy.
Yeah, hi, Alex, it's Judy, and I'd
Judy.
also like to thank you for not only you personally, but all of Synergy. We are so lucky to have a corporate organization that is so responsive to its distributors, and we really feel that you guys are our friends and that we can count on you for all of our questions. So we appreciate you and all that you do.
Oh, thank you, Judy. I'm glad I was able to be of help here. And again, if there's something I'm not sure about, I'll be happy to find it out. So don't hesitate to email me with any questions or concerns you may have. We're always happy to help. So thanks.
Okay, and I put up Alex's email address too, alexm@synergyworldwide.com.
Yep.
All right, anyone else with any questions for Alex before we thank him and say goodbye? Okay, Alex, we really appreciate you taking time out this morning to be with us. We learned a lot. We appreciate you. We appreciate the job that you have. We appreciate understanding how you are actively going after what is the biggest thorn in our side, and that's the Amazon and eBay platforms. And we just thank you for that. So appreciate you and appreciate everything that you and Synergy Worldwide do to help us work together to make Synergy Worldwide and our products household names. Thank you, Alex.
Thank you, guys. Have an amazing week. We'll be in touch.
Okay.
Great. Have a good day, everybody.
See ya.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye. Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Dan.
You're welcome.
Well,